Hey guys, Movie Got 2005 once again. Welcome back to another movie review, and today's movie review is going to be on Evil Dead 2. Came out in 1987, directed by Sam Raimi. Once again, the guy that directed this film, which I talked about not too long ago. So yeah. You have Bruce Campbell back from the first movie. And people do say this is kind of a remake, but then if you think about it, it actually turns into a sequel. Like there's these new people coming into the cabin, and basically in one scene where Ash has his hand trying to attack him and all that stuff. He literally like gets a knife and then like stabs it in the hand and cuts it off. And there's the scene where his chopped off hand gives him the middle finger. And he tries to shoot it. And you see like the blood coming out of the wall. And then Bruce Campbell like falls into the chair. And all the objects start laughing. That was a pretty funny scene. Yes, this movie does have comedic stuff in it. It's supposed to be a horror movie and also very comedic. So if you look what genre it's in, it actually does make sense that there's comedy in this if you think about it. And he basically has that classic scene in this movie where Ash goes into the shed and then gets a chainsaw for her hand and says groovy. Really, really cool. Very iconic scene where he says groovy. Yeah. And he basically has to fight off the legions again. And if he wants to make it to the dawn. So it's actually, well, there's another title for this movie called Evil Dead 2 Dead by Dawn. Which isn't said on the Blu-ray for some reason. Yeah. Oh yeah, this one scene there's this one scene where these spirits are saying Dead by Dawn. Here's the scene I'm talking about right there, of this where it says "Let me out," and all that stuff. But yeah, and you have the other scene where basically Ash fights this one Deadite. They're called Deadites. He basically fights off this Deadite. That's like an old woman or something. And he's chopping off the arms and the actual head of the monster, and it's kind of like and the body itself is deflating, that was a pretty comedic there. And Oh yeah, why can I not talk about that scene where it says, where the head says, "I'll swallow your soul," and then Bruce Campbell steps on the head and it says, "Swallow this," and then shoots it. That's awesome right there. And you have the ending where in this movie, this is where the next movie, Army of Darkness, which I will talk about soon, is where he goes into the medieval times. Like, in the film, where it talks about, like, Deadites and all that stuff. Evil Dead 2 is definitely a lot better than this film, even though I really enjoy this film. This really outsmarted it. Like, it's very, very, very crazy and just absolutely comedic, and it's just, it's pretty intense too. Like, it's just, I love this movie, and this is definitely my all-time favorite horror sequel. And this is my favorite Evil Dead film. Really, I mean, you got Bruce Campbell kicking butt in it. It's just awesome. It's just a lot of fun. Yeah. Check out this movie if you haven't already. I give this a 10 out of 10. Just a pure classic horror film. Certainly one of the best horror films ever made. And the best horror sequel, in my opinion. It's just, I love this movie. So yeah. That is it for my review for Evil Dead 2. Stay tuned for more movie reviews, and see ya.